welcome to the Spotlight with Sarah. We are coming to you from the VIA Transit Center at Brooks on the south side. Now, Brooks is a 1,300-acre mixed-use community where 3,200 people live and work. And VIA offers high-frequency bus service for 8 routes coming through here every day. But with as many as 17,000 jobs expected here at Brooks by 2040, the demand for more reliable public transportation is going to be greater than ever. Now, today we are airing our second show that's focusing on the need for better public transportation in San Antonio. It's time to talk about it because it's going to be an item on the ballot come November the 3rd. Now, in case you didn't know, in the last year, VIA recorded 36.1 million trips in San Antonio. But today, VIA is at a critical point. The agency has been working closely with the public, city, and county officials to determine what improvements need to take place that will benefit our community the most. The plan is called Keep SA Moving, and it's designed to improve the transit system by doing several things. So right now, I want to ask former state senator and longtime community leader Leticia Vandepute to join me. We are both on the Say Yes to Transit committee together, and our job is to get the message out there about what people will be voting on with this 1/8 cent sales tax. So can you tell our viewers what is the proposal all about? What will voters be voting on?
Well, this election is very, very important, nationally, statewide, but locally. One of the most important things that we can ask all of the people who are viewing this is to make sure they know that on the ballot proposition is the ability to finally add a little bit more resources to VIA, our public transit system. You see, when it was first created, all public transit systems in the state can run on 1 penny sales tax. But unfortunately, San Antonio's VIA has always only run on a 1/2 cent. That's put us behind. And when employers come in with potential jobs, when people need to get to school, to work, we know that the transportation system is strained. So we're very excited. On the ballot is a sales tax replacement. So we're not increasing the sales tax, but basically a sales tax is expiring and the opportunity to reallocate that to our public transit system.
And it's been historically underfunded for 40 years. So that's hurt our city and our economy in a lot of different ways.
Well, yes, when employers are looking to build a new manufacturing facility or to have new jobs here, they look at our education system and they look at public transit. I mean, right here at Brooks is an example. We know that that happens all across the state. But we know that the #1 barrier also for students post-high school to get to that job training or to get to community colleges is transportation, and they depend on VIA. With this reallocation of sales tax dollars, without increasing what you'll pay out of your pocket, you won't feel any increase, we can help those students go to school, get jobs, not to mention all the people from the disabled community that depend on VIA to get to their doctor's appointments, to go get medical services, and that's a critical component.
Now, you and I are on this committee because we both feel very passionate about helping our community and doing the right thing, and this is something that needs to be addressed. But you also have a very personal connection to why you want to see VIA get that 1/8 cent sales tax.
I remember my grandmother, after her first stroke, she wanted to be independent. All of us were working, and we could never be able to take off of work to go take her to the stroke club, to her medical appointments. With VIA Trans, she was able to maintain her dignity, her independence, to be able to get to those, even in her little walker and then later in her wheelchair, with the assistance of her caretaker, to do that. That means so much to our seniors in San Antonio, in the community, and it means so much to those with disabilities. 1 million rides last year with folks on that VIA Trans.
It's a really important feature that VIA does offer for a lot of people that really need it. All right, thank you so much, Senator. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I hope that people will look at it. The ballot language is a little confusing, but be sure and vote yes so that we can finally shore up and measure up and put some money into our transit system. Thanks so much, Sarah, and thank you for your leadership role.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. All right. Well, we have a lot going on here today. You know, the website to find out more about the transit, what's going on with transit in San Antonio is called keepsamoving.com. Now, public transportation is a critical element for all cities that want to grow and want to have their communities prosper. So as voters, many of you will have questions about how this plan is going to work and how it's going to play out. So share your comments and questions with us on this broadcast, on this video. Now, this is the second of 3 shows that we're going to be bringing you about the Keep SA Moving plan. We're going to be answering your questions as we go along, and in our 3rd show next week as well, so you can be informed when you head out to the polls to cast your ballot. Now, we mentioned earlier how VIA plans to improve high-tech features that it offers to customers to make commuting a lot easier. The first feature that we want to take a look at is the VIA Link app. We asked John Gary Herrera to tell us more about it and asked a few riders what they thought about it.
It's a mobility on demand app. The easiest way that we can make the connection to the consumer is think of it very much like an Uber or Lyft app. Very much works the same way, where you are calling up a ride on your schedule to come and pick you up and then to take you to an ultimate destination. Now, if that ultimate destination is within a zone, as we call it, that vehicle will take you within that zone. If you need to go cross town, for example, or out of that zone, we'll bring you to a transfer point within that zone to get onto our main system, our fixed bus system, to ultimately get you to your destination. Are you traveling alone? Are you going to need wheelchair access? Are you going to have a bike? So some of those aspects that we'll ask you as well in the app, so then we can make sure we deploy the right type of smaller vehicle for you. So a vehicle, it will be a Dodge Caravan, a van that's accessible, fully accessible, would show up. If we did it here, if we were in the zone, on average, it'll show up within 10 minutes of you booking the trip. And you walk outside and get into it just like you would an Uber and Lyft, and it will take you to your destination. Now,
I save a lot of time, a lot more time than I do on the bus, because the VIA bus, you have to wait like an hour or an hour and a half for another bus to come, but with the VIA Link, you got to wait maybe like 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, I can sleep in longer when I take the VIA Link than I do when I take the bus.
The fact that I have to wait maybe at most 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, rather than the bus service before was an hour between bus rides.
I know that it's definitely helped me out a lot as far as getting to where I need to go on time or whatnot.
And they're taking less buses to jump to get to their location, so they're really excited about that.
Oh, I love it. It's better to me. I like the bus, okay, but I like the VIA Link a little bit better.
It's a very convenient and positive experience. It's a quicker ride than the bus ride.
You know, I don't have to get my own car, use my own gas. You know, I can actually just book this online, and it only takes a couple minutes, and it was actually very easy to do.
So sometimes it's a 2.5-hour trip, as whereas when I take the VIA Link, it's knocked it down to like 30 to 45 minutes.
And all the passengers, well, like I said, have been really, really positive. I mean, they love it. They want to stay.
The beauty for us as an agency is we're only deploying services or assets when it's needed. Because somebody is asking for that ride, we're only deploying the asset when it's asked for. So it's a very efficient way to get the riders to where they need to go.
I plan to continue using VIA Link.
Comfortable, affordable, nice drivers. It's a wonderful service to have.
I would recommend it. It's a lot easier to get around, especially on this side of town, using the link.
So VIA Link is a great service for those to whom it is available, but with voter approval, more people will be able to take advantage of it. VIA is putting a lot of focus on the technology that it has in place and figuring out ways to make it even better. But a lot of people don't know all of the features that are available to them right now. So here's Marina Gavito now to tell us more about the existing VIA innovations and how they're planning to make them even better. So there's great technology in place that commuters can rely on as they plan their commute, wherever they want to go.
Absolutely. So today, say we're leaving from here to the Pearl, one thing that I could do is to go on Google Maps, which a lot of people use that app to figure out where they need to go. It defaults to giving you driving directions, but on the bottom, you can look at transit, and that will tell you exactly the buses that you need to take, where the bus stop is, how many feet it is to walk to the bus stop, and it gives you real-time information about your whole trip.
That's very, very convenient to have that. And you can even plan a trip tomorrow.
Yes, you can. So say I need to plan my route to work tomorrow. I can set it for, hey, I need to arrive at this location at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it can work backwards and tell you when you need to leave your house.
And how about if you want to figure out, well, how am I going to pay for this? Do I need to have exact change?
Yeah, absolutely. So a standard fare is $1.30, and you can pay for it by getting a smart card, buying them usually at HEB, and loading up money on that. Or I usually pay for Via on my Via app, and it's similar to Starbucks where you load your credit card information, and every single trip you take, it deducts $1.30.
Now, where do you take Via?
When we were in the office, I would take it to the office. I've taken it to doctor's appointments or different things. If the rock and roll marathon, if I'm going to the expo, I'm not paying for parking downtown. And so my daughter and I will hop on the bus each time.
So Via, I mean, it's some high-tech stuff that Via has done that a lot of people may not be aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, Via is always looking at new, innovative ways to serve our customer base.
Now, you also talked about how Via plans to expand their mobility on demand to serve the areas where the bus routes aren't as dense.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what we're looking to do is to put our buses where there's a lot of density, where there's a lot of passengers who take the buses, primarily inside 410. And then what we want to do is expand our Via Link, or what we call mobility on demand, where you look on your app, say, hey, Via, come pick me up at my house. A Via shuttle shows up, takes you to the closest transportation center. And we're looking to expand that significantly over the next few years.
And also make it available for 24 hours?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is one of the more exciting things, is that our customers tell us all the time that they want and that they need 24-hour service. So with mobility on demand, that would be offered throughout the whole city for 24-hour service.
Because that's a very limited option right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's difficult if you are on a late night shift, if you start or end on a late night shift. It's hard to take Via.
So as you saw, many reasons to vote yes for the Via proposal. It's going to make it easier for so many people to take Via to work or play or wherever they want to go. Now, speaking of work and play, we are at the Brooks Transit Center, where many people live and work, and many people travel here to go to work. So right now, I am joined by Leo Gomez. He is the president and CEO of Brooks here. Thank you for joining us today, Leo.
Welcome to Brooks. Glad to have you here.
It is so beautiful out here. Now, how important is public transit to the community here at Brooks?
Incredibly important in the world of economic development. Creating jobs, Sarah, for our community, connecting the workforce with the employers is very important. You convince companies from outside that are looking at San Antonio to come to San Antonio when you can show them the workforce is going to have that link by transit. And this is incredibly important, which is why we have this facility here already.
Now you have, is it 3,200 employees?
3,200 people are coming to work on the Brooks campus today. There will be another 2,000 jobs beginning to be filled over the next year on a path to 17,000 jobs in this Brooks region by 2040.
And it's important to have transportation available to them.
Absolutely. The workforce in the surrounding region, much of it is in need of economic mobility and upgrading of their income potential. And so to connect them with the employers is very important. I'd hate to create jobs out here, and the very people who need them don't have access to them because they don't have the public transit to get there. It's about jobs for people who need them at the end of the day, Sarah.
How many companies do you have out here right now, or hotels?
We have a total of 42 operations of all kinds of sizes here on the Brooks campus, employing 3,200 people today. Again, we are going to keep working at it. We have new companies that are opening this coming year, 2 big ones. Just those 2 are going to add 2,000 jobs starting just this year, on that path to 17,000 jobs in the region.
So people need to get out and vote.
We need to support the workforce that needs to be connected. Having these lines that we have here at the Brooks Transit Center is important, but increasing the frequency of those lines, the reliability of those lines, and the more direct approach of those lines is what's going to help the employers be confident in locating here at Brooks and hiring the folks in the region.
So very important for the community out here at Brooks to have that support in place, the public transit in place. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Let's keep San Antonio moving and support this proposal.
Great idea. I love it. I love it. Okay, thank you, Leo. Once again, if you vote yes for VIA's Keep San Antonio Moving plan, you're going to help the transit service with an existing sales tax, so there would be no tax increase. Voting for the proposition will help increase ridership, reduce congestion, fuel economic growth, and benefit all San Antonians and our local economy. So we know a lot of people have no other means of transportation, some to get to work, to appointments, people with disabilities, and students. That's an important part of our community. So here is one young lady who we came across who really drives home the message of why young people like her need this option and are asking you to approve this option on November the 3rd.
In the fall, I will be attending the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, most commonly known as MIT, and I plan to major in electrical engineering and computer science, a dual degree program. I would not have gone to school at the Young Women's Leadership Academy if it weren't for VIA, because my situation, that was the only way I could get to school. Without it, I'd be at a different school, not here at all.
Well, Maria, I know when she was in the 6th grade, was taking VIA to get here. But VIA was the conduit that got her to the school, that gave her the education to get to MIT. So if you take away VIA and you take away that access to transportation, then in essence, you would be taking away her opportunity to come to a college prep academy. And that would have negative impacts. You know, she's very bright, but the opportunities that she was provided here are very, very different.
Yeah, the bus really helped me a lot. I don't know what I would do without it. And I know there's other students here that also take the VIA bus. Without it, I don't know if any of us could do it, since YWLA is a school that takes students from all over San Antonio and even farther out. I've seen students from Burbank, I've seen students from Fox Tech, Lanier High School, my school, Jefferson, like on all different types of routes here in San Antonio. Like, I know I'm not the only student, and to have that just cut away would be, I think, horrible, because that's the way you get to and from places. So just like taking that away would be just destroying a whole lot of students' dreams, because for me, like, if without the bus, I couldn't have stayed at clubs, I couldn't have done sports, I couldn't have gone here early in the morning for testing.
So about 35% of our students use VIA to come to school. So VIA is an equalizer when it comes to getting our girls here. What it will mean to those students is that their challenges to come to school will be greater. Right now they have the facility, the ease of being able to go to a bus stop and find their way to a school like ours. If they are having to look for a closer bus stop, or if routes are cut, students might have to decide which schools they're going to go to. Students might have to decide what activities they participate in. Students might have to decide, what their priorities are in their life. And of course, we're going to advocate for VIA to keep the routes nearest schools available, because it does make a difference.
Students really appreciate this a lot. They may not say it and you may not know about it, but like, if you ride the bus and you just know that it makes a difference in their lives because you're one of those people.
So remember, we are asking you to vote yes for transit on November the 3rd. Tell your friends and colleagues why it's important, and also like and share the Vote for Transit media pages and post on your own page why you support this proposition. You can also make a donation on the voteyesfortransit.com page. Now, VIA has a lot of plans for improved schedules for essential services and busy routes, as well as improving technology and innovation. In our next Keep San Antonio Moving show, we are going to be addressing all of the specific questions that viewers have about this topic, any questions or concerns that you have. So the conversation about the future of VIA public transit is only getting more and more interesting. So please share this post on your page and let us know where you stand on this issue. Remember, this is about the future of San Antonio and connecting people with better mobility and more opportunity. So thank you so much for watching The Spotlight with Sarah, and help keep VIA keep San Antonio moving on November the 3rd. Have a great night.